Well, hey there, everybody. Cheers. It's a cup of coffee and a nice, beautiful day out here. There's so many different people in this world and so many different viewpoints on what it means to be alive and be human. And I was thinking about one aspect of that this morning that was important, and that's the one that no matter what we choose to believe, no matter what we choose to think, what types of careers we choose to pursue, who we choose to marry, whether or not we choose to have kids, whether we buy a house and settle down or go out and travel, all the decisions we make are very individual decisions, and each person independently has to make those decisions on his own. There are no right and wrong things to do or to believe, so long as they make the person happy and they're fulfilling within their life, and harm none within the process. But I think that there is one aspect of this that a person could say, no, you need to think this way. And it may not seem like such an important thing to many people, but the way that we view the world is, of course, very dependent upon our experiences. But not only our experiences, but our decisions about what we choose to experience in our daily lives. If we choose to, for example, if one day you choose to sit in a basement and search the internet for all the bad things going on in the world and look at news articles, by the end of the day you could be drained in thinking the world is a chaotic, hateful place. If you go out and go to a festival, walk through the woods and talk to good people, you might come home with the idea that people are good and that the world is good. Now, the reality that we face is that there are very hateful and vengeful people in the world. There are thieves, liars, cheats, murderers, you name it. And there always will be. So if we have an ideal view of how this should be, we need to get it out of our heads right away. There's no utopia where these things won't happen. This is part of the world we live in. So once we have that reality, that consensus reality that this is the world we live in, then we can choose to make the decision of whether we want to view it as a negative place or view it as a positive place. Now I have the view that a majority of people, well into the high 90s%, are well-meaning, well-to-do people that want to help others, want to help themselves, just want to do the best they can. Maybe they're not always able to help others because they're struggling. And there is a lot of struggling in the world. But when you compare that to the way that animals may struggle or compete, for resources and food, there's always going to be that too. There will always be people struggling. There will always be people starving. Now we could have this utopia dream that everyone could be fed. And this is possible. But once again, it's not the reality we live in right now. Because people are starving and because people are not doing well, they develop animosity towards those who have. And so while we have those who have too much and we see them as bad people sometimes, we see those who have nothing who strike out against other people, and we see them as bad people when maybe they're just trying to feed their family, or maybe they just don't know better, pure ignorance. So my point here is that the world we live in is the world we live in. It's not going to change because we just hope it will. How we view it is so important. The most important thing. I talk to people sometimes who say that, for example, one guy the other day who, we were commenting back and forth, and he said that I'm not living in the real world because of the discussion we were having, and I said that I see the world as a safe place, a good place, because that's how I choose to view it. And he said there are murderers, there are thieves and liars, and that the world is basically a cesspool. It's a shithole. And I thought to myself, no, this is a person just like me who made the decision to see the world as a negative place. Now I've been in that point in my life or a point in my life, not comparing lives, a point in my life where I saw things in that way. And so I see where they're coming from. But I made the decision because I have to live the rest of my life with myself Do I want to see the world as a negative place? Do I want to fear life? Because I've had to come to terms with the fact that here I am, and I don't know how long I'm going to be here, and may have not made the best decisions along the way. Some of them were maybe good, some of them were bad. The what ifs or what could have beens aren't worth dwelling on. You know, every person looks back on their life and has to make a decision or an assessment, not only in their life but each day at the end of the day, to say, you know, was I responsible in my conduct, you know? And so hopefully we learn from that. And oh, hi kitty, there's a cat on my roof. Yeah, I can't help you, bud. Sorry. So I just wanted to say that it's the old cheesy think positive thing, but it's not just think positive, and it's not ignore the problems. That's one major aspect of it I have to get out there. Just because I think of the world as a safe place and a good place doesn't mean I don't get pissed off when I see people taking advantage. It doesn't mean I don't get angry and direct anger towards people and corporate assholes and scumbags and liars and, oh God, I hate liars, I hate thieves, you know, but I use that energy when I need it. I don't spend my whole life constantly thinking that everyone's like that and suspecting everyone, because it's unhealthy. We are in a constant state of fight or flight if we act that way, and our bodies suffer because of it. So making the decision, although you may think that being a realist means seeing the world as a scary place, by doing that you're shortening your own life. And you're taking away from clear thinking that comes with taking a deep breath and just saying it is what it is, man. You know, make it better if you want, or don't. It's your choice. But I think that a majority of the time, or at least a lot of the time, when people think of the world as a horrible place, it's from one or two things. Either because that's what they've been exposed to lately, or because that's the company they keep. And when you keep company, negative company, you tend to think negatively. For example, if your friends had just stolen from you, if you had just been left by, you know, your wife had just left you and took your house, or, you know, any number of things that could happen to a person. Just to remember that these are events that happen to everyone, and it may happen once in your life, it may happen many times, but we're kind of the product of our own manifestation in a way. There will be circumstantial things that happen that we can't help, and there will be things that we know are our own fault. But looking at the world as a scary place doesn't do anything to help us. But being realistic about it does. So, peace. I'm out.